so when Sega developer Makoto Ichida was thinking about this game, excuse me, and when he was developing this game, he had in mind that he really wanted to make an RPG. Now, if you think about it, RPGs, that's almost nigh impossible to play on the arcade because you want to be able to feed quarters. You want to be able to make money. And so Sega was like, I'm not so sure, but Miss Uchida-san said, no, I really think we need to make this RPG style game. And he based it off of Conan the Barbarian, which was what he thought was the quintessential medieval kind of themed, medieval times, for lack of a better word, themed cabinet. And he just loved it. So he developed it. He wanted it to be an RPG. That's why you can get more magic. You can kind of get more health as it kind of goes along. And it's just a beautiful game. And he also developed Altered Beast, which is also on this cabinet. So when you think about this, I was thinking about reviewing this. I know in my previous videos, I kind of ranked this cabinet really low on least played with all the kids that come up here. But recently I went to an arcade, a retro arcade in Pasadena. In fact, I did a review on that. And the arcade itself, when I was there, the game I played the most was Golden Axe. I played it with a buddy of mine named Jacob Trimper, and he's an amazing friend of mine, and we played this, and it was just so much fun. I was like reliving some nostalgia that I did when I was with my brother when I was so much younger. And so I came back here and I really wanted to play this, and I fell in love with it again, and I thought, man, if people could just know how wonderful this cabinet is, I think you would play it a ton more, or at least want to consider purchasing it. Maybe you're on the fence, because it has incredible games. Like I said, I've already reviewed it. It has Golden Axe, it has Return of Death Adder, it has Shinobi, it has Wrestle War, it has Altered Beast. And when you think of those games back in the late 80s, early 90s, those were like the games that we all flocked to. If you're anything like me, if you're around 45, I'm a little bit younger than that, but if you're around 44, 45, you remember Altered Beast. Like that was your, like you had to beat that game, and that was actually beatable in the arcade. You remembered Golden Axe. You remembered Golden Axe 2 on the Sega Genesis. You remembered Revenge of Death Adder. I mean, all these different games, we played them so much, and I thought it would be fun to review this. But also, one of the things that I never see any Arcade1up reviewers do is something I want to start doing. Now hold on just a second, because I want to show you something.
Golden Axe. That glorious game from 1989. Now, if you didn't know this, this has a BOE monitor, and I'm going to be going into the back end here. There's a user interface for the actual game. Now, Golden Axe itself has something you can see. It's you can toggle off the demo sounds. You can make the difficulty easiest, easy, normal, hard, harder, hardest, or special, which is for really special people. You can do the scan lines on and off. You can do a bunch of things. I really love what Code Mystics has done in doing this. They've made this game so much easier if you want to just beat it at one sitting, or if you want to make it exceedingly difficult for all those special people, you can do that as well. So the Altered Beast back end has the demo sounds on and off. For the lives, you can have free play. You can have 2 lives, 3 lives, 4 lives when you start. You can do the player meter from 2 through 5. The difficulty can be easy, normal, hard, or hardest. I've never played on hardest. I've played hard, and it is exactly what it says. It was never the easiest game to play in the arcades, but I loved it. There's also the scan lines you can set on and off, and you can reset the high scores. But this game, look at it. Look at the way the graphics are as you're destroying those wonderful guys that come out of the freaking, I don't know, graves and skeleton dudes, and you get the beasts. And I'm sorry my arm's in the way, but it's just a glorious game, and I highly recommend this one, playing it on this one as much as you can. Shinobi, made in 1987, is another game that comes on this cabinet. Arcade1up did a great job importing this one, and Code Mystics again did a great job, I should say, importing it. With Shinobi, you can do the demo sounds on and off. Lives, you can have free play as well, 2, 3, or 5 lives. The difficulty can be easy, normal, hard, or hardest. You can change the actual bullet speed to make it slow or fast. There's no scan lines if you want. You can also change the language from English to Japanese if you'd like, if you really want to, I don't know, have that feel of like originality. Then you can also reset the high scores. This game, I played it on the NES. It didn't do a very good job, I don't think, on the NES porting it, but it still is so much fun to have on my cabinet that I seriously love playing this. It's super hard though. So Wrestle War is a game that I feel like is kind of a throwaway game on this cabinet. I don't really enjoy it that much, but the back end you can do some things. You can make the rounds longer, you can allow continues, the difficulties can be easy, normal, hard, or hardest. And it's an okay game. It's a vertical cabinet. I don't think they should have put this game on the arcade, or at least the Golden Axe cabinet. It would have been great if it was something like Space Harrier or something. I get that from Retro Ralph. I agree with him. But it's a fun game, but it's not something that I ever play. It's just kind of, like I said, like it's a throwaway. And I don't know, you guys see for yourself. For the final game I'm showing you guys is the Golden Axe, The Return of Death Adder. This game was actually never ported over into any console. So this is the only way to play it, which I absolutely love. And you can start with initial players on the back end. You can have 1 through 4. You can have a difficulty setting be 1 through 8, which is insane to put it on 8. I did it just for fun and died immediately. Your initial vitality you can have anywhere from 16 to 48. You can turn the demo sounds on and off, and you can have scan lines on and off. And you can also reset the high scores. But this game to me is actually probably my favorite game on the cabinet. It's a lot of fun. It's quicker than the original Golden Axe. It doesn't have the nostalgia, but as far as fun factor, this definitely has it. And I recommend this game just primarily for this, or at least this cabinet primarily for this game. It's beautiful, and the way it plays is awesome.
Boom, the magic of trick photography. So now let's just say that this is my wife, and let's just say, you know what, I really want to take my wife to my office because that's what we do in our free time with 3 kids. I want to go to my office and play some arcade games, but you know what? She's probably going to get hungry. So I need to decide what would be the best food to pair with the Golden Axe cabinet. I mean, let's be honest, Arcade1up is like a fine wine, or at least Golden Axe is. And like a fine wine, you need to have something to eat with your eating, right? With your playing. Let's just try that. And so I thought, what are some great 80s foods to go along eating with Golden Axe as I'm enjoying this game with my wife, as if she would ever play arcades with me. But anyways, let's just pretend in this fictitious world of mine that I'm making up, and she'll never watch this, which I'm good, guys, we're good. So we can pretend that she's here eating some foods with me and drinking some drinks. Now I have some recommendations on what you should eat and drink while playing Golden Axe. It's really nice being with you here alone. Now I recommend this. Now, you guys remember these things called Squeeze-Its? Back in the 80s and 90s, this was like all the rage. So you'd rip off the top and you just squeeze it in your mouth. And it's pure sugar, and it's so good, and it's the color of red as you enjoy this because Golden Axe has a lot of blood. We're just gonna put that there. Oh, now they're called Kool-Aid Gushers, I believe is what they're called. So you can find them on Ralph's. I don't necessarily recommend them, but they're great with this game. The other thing that I really want to show you guys, and I'll show you guys close-ups of this, is this Easy Squeeze American cheese. Now, if you remember the movie Big, which I probably won't be able to show on this because they're gonna strike it, but you could squeeze this cheese out. Oh, remember that? Remember that? That's what happens when you're running out. That's how much my son and I used to eat this, or we are currently eating it. Just don't tell her. So this is the perfect kind of food to pair. It's 80s food, 80s nostalgia, pairing it with your Arcade1up. I gotta eat this, don't I? So there you have it. Incredible arcade games with incredible 80s food that you can still get today. Highly recommend Arcade1up's Golden Axe Return of Death Adder. And don't forget, if you like this review, or if you just feel sorry for me, please like the video and subscribe. We'll see you guys later. Oh.